Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you remember how I said my town's only BlockBuster was closing down? Well, here it is, closing down. I mean, I just can't believe this is happening. I mean, there's no way this should be shutting down. This, to me, is one of the most successful businesses they got here in town, and yet it's being shut down. Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. It's scheduled to be shut down on April 10th. That's right. And you can look in there, and I think you know from experience what I'm talking about. The fact that it doesn't look the same. So, yeah. My town's only BlockBuster closing down on April 10th. What a load of BS. I mean, this is an absolute load of BS. Shouldn't be happening, but it is. Oh well. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. TGIF to all of you. And, well, I wanted to do this video a little bit more of an expansion of what I talked about yesterday. And what I talked about yesterday was the fact that in a short 3-minute video, I talked about the fact that BlockBuster here in my town, which is the only BlockBuster store we have, in fact the only video store we have, was shutting down. And the reason for it is because I guess according to our local paper, our town's newspaper, the Irrigator, apparently the company, the corporation of BlockBuster doesn't want to renew the lease on the building that the store is in. Now basically BlockBuster shares this one area, this one part of a building, sort of like a duplex building, and they have most of it to themselves. The other part is ran by Baskin-Robbins. Now, unfortunately, due to the fact that I guess they want to grab every asset they can to save the butts, if you will, the BlockBuster Corporation is even going as far as not to renew leases on buildings. Now, I briefly mentioned in the 3.5-minute video that, to me, renewing a lease on a building is cheaper, way cheaper, than shutting down certain stores because you filed bankruptcy. I mean, none of us here in town, nobody here in town that goes to the BlockBuster to rent movies and games and everything, if you would have told all of us last year when this whole bankruptcy thing started that our store would be on the list of potential shutdowns, and the reason was not because of bankruptcy, but due to the fact that they didn't want to renew the lease. You know, if you would have told us that, we would have been like, we would have looked at you like you're crazy. That's the stupidest reason we can ever think of. Now, I do speak from experience. You see, I used to work at Food for Less in Lawrence, Kansas, and Food for Less was right across the street from where I am. As a matter of fact, it's like where I'm standing right here now, and going over next to the walkway behind the house where I'm at, that was BlockBuster right there. As a matter of fact, if you take these houses on this side, across the street, if you remove them and you put a Food for Less right there, that was Food for Less almost. Maybe a little further up, maybe by a few more feet, but that's what Food for Less was, practically right across the street. And I worked there for about over a year. And what happened was, you know, there was talk for months that we were going to probably expand, you know, because we had some space in the back. we figured, okay, we expand a little bit more. We could have a deli, we could have a bakery or something like that. We figured, okay, we're going to expand, or at least the most part, move into a bigger location, a bigger building in town. That did not happen. Farley's, who I guess was the parent owner, the primary owner of Food for Less, decided not going to happen. We can't, and not going to happen. This is what's going to happen. So this is what we're going to do. Now they did give a lot of employees, including myself, the option of working in other stores in Topeka, Leavenworth. I can't think, Kansas City, I think maybe, I'm not sure. But they gave us these options. And some of us took them, and some of us couldn't. Honestly, I couldn't take it because I had no transportation way of getting down there. And there was no bus that I knew of that went from Lawrence to Topeka in the amount of time I would need. Now, I could be wrong, but as far as I know, I looked online, there was nothing. Now the thing is, did it hurt? Did it hurt? Did it hurt me that we were shutting down? Of course it did. Of course it hurt me. I mean, I've been fired before. I've been fired from Burger King. I've been let go from Home Depot. I've been fired from Hastings Entertainment. But I got over it. I was upset. I got over it. But working at Food for Less, I was working at a place. I was working at a place where I felt that if it had continued on, I'd still be working there, or at least be able to transfer and work at a store associated with it, like Food Max. That's what I feel could have happened, but instead, we get shut down, and it hurt. Honestly, it did hurt to the point that I was so upset. And this may be embarrassing to say, but tears were coming out of my eyes. I was that upset. Because this was a store, not only where people like myself that lived right across from it, right across the street from it, could go and shop for our food and our groceries. But here was a store that for someone like me, I could get my half-hour or hour-long lunch break, my hour-long lunch break, and I could, instead of going to Applebee's across the street, or instead of going down the street to McDonald's, or going down the street to, I don't know, Subway, I could go right home and eat lunch. It was that convenient. And for them to be shut down due to the fact that it wasn't bankruptcy, but due to the fact that they felt threatened, I guess in the corporation's minds, of Walmart, of the Walmart, they're expanding into a super Walmart, which, believe it or not, I ended up working for before I came out here. It's like they couldn't grasp it. I mean, look here. We got a Safe Mart here in town. Now, right across the street, they're planning to put a hypermart, a hyper Walmart, a super Walmart across the street in a plaza, along with some other businesses. Now, true, Safe Mart has been selling the books in which a certain documentary film is based on, which is called "How Walmart Ruins Small American Towns," or something like that. Yeah, they're selling that, and they're not the only ones. There are some small businesses uptown, basically in the square, in the plaza areas, if you will, that are doing the same thing. Now, they do this because they were afraid they're going to get shut down. Walmart's going to take their businesses away. Listen, I admit Walmart has had a reputation. Stores like Walmart has had a reputation that when they come in to a small town, they get established into a small town, that small town business, those local businesses, they do suffer, but they don't suffer all the time. You see, there are some things that Walmart, believe me, and I talk from experience, there are some things Walmart does not carry that a local hardware store or a local grocery mart or whatever carry that Walmart doesn't. And you know, and that's another thing. Is this whole, oh, we don't want to renew the lease on Blockbuster, is one of the reasons is because Walmart's coming to town, does Plaza's coming to town? Is that it? If it is, it's stupid. I mean, here's what I would do. And maybe hopefully they will do this. Maybe they'll realize that this town needs a Blockbuster. Maybe when this plaza gets opened up, is made and opened up, that maybe they'll put Blockbuster in there. Maybe they'll do that. But the thing is, it's pathetic what they're doing. I mean, just because you don't want to renew a lease doesn't mean, oh, we're going to close the store down. I mean, it's like I said in that 3.5-minute video. I can understand a bigger city, a bigger town like Modesto having one of its Blockbusters shut down because it has more than this town. I can understand the same thing with Turlock. Turlock's probably got 1 or 2 or 3. I can understand if one of them gets shut down. Same with Tracy. Same with, I don't know, Livermore or something like that. I can understand if 1 or 2 Blockbusters get shut down in those towns because maybe they have 1 or 2 more. Because maybe they have more than like 1 or 2. I can understand that. But what I don't understand is why shut down a business, one of the most successful businesses you have, just because you don't want to renew the lease. It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit, folks. I mean, it's pure B-U-L-L-S-H-I-T bullshit. I mean, I can understand. I can understand that the reason they filed for bankruptcy last year is due to the fact that online video rental companies like Netflix, GameFly, Redbox, I can understand that the reason they're filing for bankruptcy is because perhaps Netflix, GameFly, and Redbox are in some way dominating them. Okay, they're dominating them in some way. And how is that? Well, it's real simple. Netflix offers movies to rent, to be mailed to your home, to rent and watch, if you will, like this. Like this right here, which is a Beatles Magic Mystery Tour DVD. I mean, I can understand Netflix being able to give you the opportunity to do this, which is cool. And one of the reasons they do this, and one of the reasons I think maybe Netflix is part of the reason Blockbuster last year was filing for bankruptcy, is because Netflix allows people to keep the movies as long as they want. The same with GameFly. GameFly, if you have a membership, lets you keep your games as long as you want. The only difference between Netflix and GameFly is if you can't pay up your membership with GameFly, then GameFly says, okay, you got this certain time limit. They email you and they say, okay, you got this certain time limit or time frame to return the games to us, or else you're going to end up buying them. Netflix, they don't do that. They just wait to the month you can renew your subscription or pay your subscription, and you just continue to rent. Now Redbox, they may be part of the reason too. I mean, Redbox, perhaps, even though they do one night or they charge you $1 a night or something like that or $2 a night, right? Depending on what you rent, like $1 a night for a movie, $1 a night for a movie, or $2 a night for a game. I mean, I can understand that people look at that and they say, that's more affordable than renting at Blockbuster. Here's the thing. Blockbuster has what you want right then and there. I mean, it's so obvious. They have what you want right then and there. And yes, even Blockbuster does online rentals. Yes, they rent out the newest movies when they come out online. Yes, they rent video games. But however, the only difference with the video games is, let's say let's say a new game, like let's say Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which just recently came out. That won't be released for online rental until maybe a couple months from now. Because I remember back in October, November, December, I was looking up SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 to rent online from them. And I found out that it wasn't available until recently last month. So if you think about it, October, basically the end of October, November, December, January, February, so you got basically about 4 months you have to wait till it comes out. So that's the only disadvantage. The fact that people would have to wait from February, March, April, May, maybe June, May or June, till they can rent Marvel vs. Capcom 3 online from BlockBuster. And yes, BlockBuster does the same thing that Netflix does. They stream movies to you. Now, again, I can understand maybe Netflix and Gamefly and even Redbox being the reason that BlockBuster is filing for bankruptcy, because they can't compete with what these guys do. But here's the advantage BlockBuster has over Netflix. There are certain movies, either I think the Warner Brothers movies, I believe, or something like that, that you can rent from BlockBuster right off the bat, even online. Netflix, Netflix and Redbox, you have to wait 30 days before they're available. You see, and that's what I don't understand. For a small town like this to lose the only video store, and the only video store being BlockBuster, just because the corporation doesn't want to renew the lease, is downright stupid. It's downright bullshit. I mean, like I said, renewing the lease on the building is a lot cheaper than constantly shutting down store after store after store because of bankruptcy. It's a lot cheaper. I mean, there are some buildings in that location that it's at, maybe a few blocks up, or maybe 20, 100 yards up or something like that. There's an empty building or so that I see that's big enough for a BlockBuster. Rent that building out and you'd have more room. But they don't want to do that. And you think I'm pissed off talking about that in this video? No, I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people here in town that's pissed off. The employees that work at this BlockBuster that I've gotten to know. Oh, every time I walk in there, they're pissed off. They're pissed off at the fact that they're losing their jobs, or the fact that they're going to have to travel to another town or something like that just to work. And you know, we don't even know why, the real reason why BlockBuster filed for bankruptcy last year. I mean, yes, it could be due to the fact that Netflix and Gamefly offer people rentals to keep for as long as they want, with the exception that if you don't pay, you're not able to pay your Gamefly one, you either got to turn the games in or you buy it. But anyway, you know, the thing is, to me, I can probably understand that, and the fact that they can't compete with that. But still, they have advantages nobody else has. Alright? They have advantages nobody else has. I mean, people could go into this BlockBuster here in town and buy and rent, and not just rent movies and games, but they can buy movies and games. They could buy pictures of famous actors and actresses like James Dean and Marilyn Monroe and Bing Crosby and Elvis Presley, the Beatles. They could do that. But yet, for some reason, this corporation doesn't see that. And they say, oh, it's not because of bankruptcy. It's not because the store is hurting us financially. It's the fact that we don't want to renew the lease. Bullshit. I mean, look at this place. Look at this living room, if you will. I mean, look at it. Let me show you. Let me show you. Let me show you, folks. Let me show you something. Look around. Look at this place. All right, look. I mean, look how big this. Okay, sorry if I'm going fast, but look at this area. Alright, look at it. I want you to imagine the length, the hugeness of this place. Imagine it. Imagine the hugeness of this place. Take the kitchen out. What do you get? That hallway, what do you get? Huh? Imagine that, folks. Imagine the hugeness of this living room. And there are a lot of other houses that are just like that, not just in this town, but many towns. Many towns, folks, that are the same way. Think about it. Somebody honestly could put a video store right in a place like this and it would be successful. I mean, there are things me and my mom bought from BlockBuster that we're happy to have. I mean, I bought a few of my Xbox and PS2 games from BlockBuster. I bought the one game me and my mom both were glad to get, the Beatles Rock Band. I pre-ordered it from them. And for them to have to shut down due to the stupid fact that the corporation doesn't want to renew the lease on the building is bullshit. I mean, to me, it's like, come on. All you have to do is all you have to do is just put a little bit more money in, not as much as you're going to need to probably shut down stores due to bankruptcy. Just put it in, and guess what? You'll be fine. Or at least look around town, find an empty building, put your BlockBuster in there, voila! Stupid, folks. It's absolutely stupid. I mean, and here's the advantage about one thing that BlockBuster has over something like GameFly. GameFly usually takes about 2 to 3 days to get to you. BlockBuster, if they have the game right there, you can rent it right there. Netflix, the one thing they have over GameFly, you send the movie back in, you have a movie in your queue, they'll send it right to you the next day. I mean, folks, it is complete BS bullshit. Everybody, that BlockBuster corporation knows it. The people working at this store in town know it. The people that have had stores shut down around this country know it. And you know what? If some of those stores around this country were shut down for the same reason this one's being shut down, they know as well as I do, and anybody else, that it's absolute pure bullshit this is happening. And you know, I just pray and hope that with this plaza coming within this year or next, along with this Walmart, that hopefully one of the empty buildings will be bought out for a BlockBuster, or leased out or bought out for a BlockBuster store. That's all I can hope for, folks. That's all I can hope for. I'm sure everybody feels the same way here in town. That's all they can hope for. I mean, if there's anything that's going to replace that BlockBuster, I pray to God it's a Hollywood Video. That's the only one that could do it. It's the only one I believe would be able to fit in there and give fans, I mean not give fans, but give people the same service that BlockBuster did. That's the only way I look at it, folks. So, that's all I'm going to say. Comment down below, tell me what you think, and I'll talk to you all later. Alright, this is going to be a quick 3.5-minute video. I just want to ask you people something. If you lived in a small town, and your small town only had, well, let's put it this way. You live in a small town, and your small town has all the essentials you need. Even some of the big name areas, big name companies, I should say. Like say McDonald's, BlockBuster, Burger King, Taco Bell, the works. What would you say if the only video store you had in your town, which just happens to be BlockBuster. What would you say after last year, hearing that some Blockbusters were going to be shut down because BlockBuster filed for bankruptcy? What would you say if you found out that your BlockBuster, which happens to be the only video store in your town, was shutting down? What would you do? What would you say? How would you feel? You'd probably feel pretty pissed off. Well, guess what? That's exactly how me, and I'm pretty sure most of the people here in this town feel. Pissed off. Now, I can understand a Blockbuster or so being shut down in maybe Modesto and a few other cities like that. I can understand that, because they have more than one. But why in the world would you take away a small town's only Blockbuster? For what reason? I mean, I can understand perhaps it's due to bankruptcy, and they need to shut down certain stores to build up the money in their finances again. I can understand that. But not wanting to renew the lease on the building in which the store is in? That's stupid. I mean, renewing the lease on a building in which the store is housed in is a lot more cheaper, in my eyes, than shutting down the stores to build up your financial advances. You know what I mean? It's much better. It's much easier. But that's what they're doing here. Now, some people have said that it's due to the fact that online video companies like Redbox, Netflix, Gamefly are all been dominating the video rental and game rental positions nowadays. But Blockbuster's in there as well. So what do you think? Do you think that's true? Tell me what you guys think. Tell me if you think that's the reason. And do you think it's bullshit that the only video store in town should be shut down? Tell me what you guys think. Give me your response, and I'll talk to you later. I mean, come on. I mean, it's BS, isn't it? Yeah, I just came home, took care of some business, did some, I guess you say, discount shopping over at BlockBuster, and I got all 6 of these movies from there at good prices. These here, these $14.99, this $14.99 is about, I think about $9, about $10.50 actually, $10.50 I believe, this one right here. And then these 9s are about, this is about 6, and this is about 9 maybe, or 7 I believe. And then these of course were 3 because they were rentals and everything, but even this, Inception. So it's sad to know that BlockBuster, even in a town like this, is going to be closing down, and not due to financial reasons, but due to the fact that the company doesn't want to renew the lease in the building. So, but still, you know, some good does come out of it, and you still want to give them your business, because, you know, what are these people going to do? They're going to get moved to other stores, or they're just going to have to look for other jobs. You see, that's the thing. But still, you get good deals, and so this is what I got at BlockBuster. Right here, I got these movies at BlockBuster: Hulk vs. Wolverine and Thor, Legendary, Inception, Dances with Wolves, that's one of my mom's favorites, Lords of the Rings, Return of the King, and Tootsie, one of my mom's other favorites. So, again, it's sad to know that company's closing, and the store's closing, but actually the store in my town's closing, but again, you get good deals sometimes, so you can't, good does come out of bad, so just thought I'd let you guys know what I got, and tell me what you guys think, and I will talk to you later.
Yeah, so I gotta try to put half of 2 back. I try to put 2 back.
This here, I'm doing this quickly on my 15 minutes, is my former BlockBuster store. You can see that they still have the quick drop box. And you see on the inside, you got the membership, you got the little TV thing there. Everything that used to be BlockBuster. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff. But this used to be the BlockBuster here in my town. Used to be it here, now it's up for sale. Don't know whoever's gonna get it. Maybe somebody might restore it. But all those walls used to be lined with movies and stuff. But again, this used to be the BlockBuster. Again, the membership sign is still up in there. As you can see, membership services. You can see where all the TVs were. Bathrooms are over there. The desk was right there. And again, the quick drop. But yeah, this used to be where the BlockBuster was here in Patterson. So, building still standing but abandoned. This is the old BlockBuster here. I know I showed this before, but this is more of a 1080p 60 frames per second edition. You can probably get a better picture here. As you can see, there's the membership sign, the desk. In the inside, I'm sorry for the glare. I see inside, that's where a lot of the movies used to be in that row. There's the desk. Here's the quick drop box. I don't know if you can see very well in there. But yeah, this is the old BlockBuster. There's some stuff still up, as you can see. And really, that's about it. So just thought I'd show that off on my way to the Fiesta.